Yo, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Welcome
Doing
to
good,
this
bro.
edition. Welcome to
Come on,
this
brother.
edition of the Perspective podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. I'm here with my brothers Jaquari and Damon Armstrong. You know us. You familiar with us. We got a special guest tonight, Derrick Johnson, better known as DJ. Um, Jaquari, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I survived the day. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask God for in the morning. Just let me get through it.
Okay, okay. Uh, Damon, how are you today?
Doing all right, man. Just sitting back, man, and enjoying the moment. Being in the moment, man. Had the grandbaby today, and you know how demanding they could be. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying? And I was there to cater to her every need, and you know, I actually enjoyed it. You know,
Okay, okay, okay.
Enjoy getting
Cool.
pimped.
That's all. You're a sucker forever.
hey, you know
Um,
what?
Yeah,
Yes, you get no argument from me
yeah,
when it comes to my
yeah.
cool.
grandbaby.
No doubt. No doubt.
Amen.
It is what it
For
is,
real.
man. It
Hey,
is what it
hey, hey,
is.
listen. Let me before I even ask you anything, DJ. Let me just give you a background. How I know this brother. I've known this brother since uh, maybe 23 years now. You know
Yep,
what I'm saying?
about 23.
About 23 years. He's gonna tell you everything, but this is, just to understand this man's personality. Um, he retired Marine Gunnery Sergeant. You know what I mean? And you could tell it by his energy, by the way he stands there. Retired law enforcement officer. This is how I met the man. You know what I'm saying? And we had some great moments as co-workers. DJ, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing really well. I'm not in the dirt. I'm blessed and highly favored, and it is a privilege to be here in this podcast, man. Anxious to get after it. You
Okay,
know, I'm ready to roll with it, give it to you.
okay, okay, okay.
Don't go no other way.
So how was your day today?
No
How
other
was your
way.
day today, DJ?
Was good. I'm not in the dirt. Got up, hit that gym, left the gym, uh, started my routine. I just try to accomplish that one thing every day, no matter how subtle or not. Uh, to be out about the business, the task of just surviving and living. Did some yard work, things like that, and ate
Yep,
good too.
can't
It
forget
ain't
that.
a shame. And so I logged on early because so for y'all, I'm gonna share this with y'all. I was late last night. I was the one. There's always that one that was me. So Keith put me on timeout, had me log in at 30 minutes prior. I was like, wait a minute, man, this is my dog, man. He said, hey, you a Marine, you should have been on time last night. You made me, oh, damn, okay. But here I am.
There it
So,
is. There it is.
it's cool. It's
Okay.
good.
Okay, well, DJ, let our audience know, people who are gonna be looking at this in the future, and me and my brothers, let us know a little bit about you.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep it short, but I'm gonna expand a little bit at the same time. At the age of 17, out of high school, didn't know where I was gonna do, didn't know where I was gonna go. My folks were like, "You ain't gonna sit here in the city of Chicago and just do nothing. You either going to work or you going in service. Simple as that." So I trotted down to the recruiting station to talk to the Army recruiter. He wasn't there. A Marine walked out on the highway and said, "What's up, young man?" I said, "I'm looking for the recruiter." He said, "Which one?" I said, "The Army recruiter down there." He said, "Well, he's going to lunch. Why are you going to waste your time with him when I got you right here?" Simple as that. And then 20 years later, I did my thing as best I could. Got some combat time, was in Desert Storm, and also was in Somalia. Took care of business. I was a drill instructor at Paris Island. Attained the rank of gunnery sergeant, and I served honorably as best I could. Gave them the best I could. So did my 20 years there. Walked out the gate and said, "Now I got to go to work. I got bills to pay." Kid in high school, uh, went to the prison system and worked for a few years, and then from there I went to the Wake County Sheriff's Office. I went the detention route at first. Met Keith, man. This was at like December of 1999, I think it was.
Yeah.
Did 5 years there. Boy, I thought I was a tough guy, by the way, too. You know what I'm saying? You go in that environment, you find out you ain't as tough as you think you are. Then I went to the patrol division, and I did that for, I don't know, 13, 14 years, and did that job. And then at the age of 50-something, shall I say, I retired, and I've been enjoying life, my retired life ever since. No regrets, nowhere around, and just living my best life as I can. One daughter, she's in Miami, and a grandson. That's it.
Okay.
Kind of nutshell.
Definitely thank you. Definitely thank you for your service, brother.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Speaking about the Marines, man, believe it or not, I was headed there with my 6'9" self out of high school. But my father was the one who told me, he pulled me to the side because, I was good at sports, you know what I'm saying? But I played sports to have fun, right? And he said to me, he asked me, hey, what do you want to do, son? You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing, and I talked about the Marines. He said, son, what I need you to do because of your God-given ability, I need you to use that to go to school because you need to be an example for your brothers. And that's when he said that, it changed my life. Even though the Marines was a dream of mine, maybe because I grew up watching the Army pictures, because my mother loved the Army flicks, bro, and cowboys.
Okay.
Cowboy joints too.
Yeah.
She called them her cowboys. But that's what it was about. So I'm saying that to say, what did the Marines do for you, BJ? If you can, talk about it.
So I grew up, believe it or not, in the South Side, Chicago, Southeast Side, and I really was sheltered. I mean, in that environment in the 60s and 70s, and these brothers all can attest, it wasn't like it is now. You had all an African American environment. I mean, elementary school, and then high school. That's all I saw was African American folks, teachers, principal, office staff, everything. And so at that age, 17 is a tender age, especially to go out in the world and not know. So going in that, it taught me really fast that failing is not an option. It's not. It's not. You either exceed and excel and have high expectations for yourself. And the Marine Corps pushed me and got out of me what I didn't know I had inside. 17, 18 years old. You just don't know. And so that, with the fact that I wanted to see things other than the area I grew up in. I knew the world's out there, but I wanted to see it. And I saw some things. Like most people that go in the military, you go places and you see things. It really just expands your horizon. So that was, if anything, that was the most important factor and asset of my endeavor.
Okay. So your experience with, and I'm doing this because, like I said, it's I rarely get the opportunity. People don't ask me about what I did in law, my 28 years in law enforcement. They usually don't ask me about it.
Sure.
So since you're here and we had Keith Barnes on earlier, on earlier episodes, I ask you these things because it's more or less, giving a point of view that most folks don't know that they're everyday people in that point of view. It's us. We if you didn't say anything to anybody, would they guess that that's what you did for a living? Or you see what I'm saying? Law enforcement I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I'm going to present the same question to you. Was law enforcement easier because you had the Marine experience, or was it a different route that you had to take and learn?
The part that made me grow uh, was the I can do experience and that drive. That was the part that made it uh, gave me a leg up. However, being on military bases and being away from society, literally, I had to learn to adjust and become a citizen in the what we call the world, or the city, or the town, or whatever, because it's a whole different experience. Like you dealing with folks, man, as a law enforcement officer, a cop, sheriff, deputy, whatever you want to call it. And Damon spoke about this yesterday. We had a meeting. People that have the conception that it's either blue lights and sirens, it's fast paced, you lock people up. Nowadays, you shoot people. None of that. It's like 98% mundane routine, and that 2% when all crap hits the fan. And then what you gonna do? Being a tough guy, I promise you, is not. You're not gonna last. You won't last. You be going in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You gotta learn how to manipulate the situation, find your niche. If that makes sense, fellas, find your niche, and then adjust and go with it. Because serving and protecting means that it means you serve and you protect. Then then you go from there. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense.
Jaquari Damon, do you have anything to add to it or ask?
So, in the Marines, did you have anything to do with the police and the Marines, or
Not at all. I was infantry.
not at all?
Had nothing to do with it whatsoever. Being a military policeman, not at all. And literally ran from anything, any kind of drama, trouble. I always tried to go the other way, so I never even dealt with any military policemen. Had no idea about law enforcement whatsoever. I was just strictly infantry, combat oriented. That's it.
My thing is, like when I presented the question, like yesterday, as DJ alluded to, man, like I was telling you guys yesterday, I had been watching a lot of video and a lot of situations where you guys had to deal with and eventually retire from. I mean, that speaks a lot to both of y'all characters, man. You know what I'm saying? To actually be on the job and make adjustments. You know, going from military to civilian life, I know is a hell of a leap, man. You know what I'm saying? And I, as a civilian, I can't even fathom that situation. But my experience with my brother Keith and Jacory in the job that he does, also, it's like, you know what I'm saying? We can sit back and talk about have an opinion about stuff, but if you're not in that situation, you have no idea, and that takes a certain type of individual to be able to do that job. You know what I'm saying? To be able to make that leap or make that adjustment. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain amount of temperament, and it's interesting, man. DJ, you said 2% of it. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of it is just like mundane and everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you look at the public at large and all the rhetoric and all that stuff that's going on, it makes it seem like it's more than that 2%. But Keith, that's your actual life though. And Jacory, you get the result of it, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not on the streets doing the actual arrest stuff like that, but the people, but they wind up coming to you, and you have to deal with it. So I'm interested to know with all three of y'all, you know what I'm saying, the adjustments is only 2%, but you know, how do you speak to the public who sensationalize it and think that it's always this combative thing? Police, law enforcement is against the public.
Well, right quick, if I could jump in second. That 2% is just my for me. It might not be Spoke. It might not be Keith's opinion. They think it might be 10%. Might be for me. That's my thing is the 2% of the seriously high stake drama. Because when I say routine, I mean that's what it is. Traffic stops, 911 call, blah 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 blah. And then when it hits the fan, that's what I mean to say. I will clarify that it could be more, it could be less. I doubt if it's less. But yeah, you just have to, man. You just have to dig in there and go with it the best way you can.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Definitely.
To answer your question, Damon, to be honest with you, what I do is I keep more of myself. Understand that what I'm doing, I am Keith Armstrong doing the job as a law enforcement officer. This is what I'm doing. This is how I see the world. I don't see it any more different than that. Yes, me personally, because of the way I grew up, because of my wild youth, which most people don't understand, I did have it. It's just I didn't get caught out there like that because I did not get drunk off of it, right? But that's another story. The point I'm trying to make to you is when I went on a call, and DJ, you understand when I say this, when I went on a call, I'm there for that call. I'm not there for personalities, unless that personality is directing his energy towards me. Now, I have to convince him or her. I'm going to do my job. Just because you got the Rams, just because your chest is out and you got this loud tone, does not take away that I'm there to do my job. As soon as my job is done, I'm out. That's it. But see, the thing about it is to understand what you're going into, because really and truly, you never know what you're going into.
Never know.
DJ talked about the mundane. That is absolutely true. I can say that if we differ, I think it's a little more. And why I say it's a little more, that small percentage, is because as soon as you put your uniform on, I tell people this, you heard me say this before, DJ. As soon as I put my uniform on to walk out my door, I made the choice to do what I'm supposed to do. And that is to protect and serve.
That's right.
And I understand what protect and serve meant. It didn't mean save the world. It didn't mean pass judgment on assholes and delinquents. What it meant was to do my job. And what the main part of my job was to walk back into my door. See, that's the key. Not, you talk about the in-between. I'm paying attention to all the in-between. But my goal is put my uniform on, walk out the door. That's one goal that was met. The second goal is to take on what that day brings me. Right? But the last goal and final, and most important, if you really want to ask me, is to walk right back into my door and look at my family. Right? That is very human, isn't it, guys? But you think about how people, hey, I might get in trouble for this, but I want to say this, and this is not bad. This is what I'm saying. The people who are the most vocal, right? To me, my own opinion, the people who are the most vocal and talking about F the police, this, that, and the other, because I was one of them. F the police and this, that, and the other are the ones who ain't really had to go through no shit. But I respect them because they are crusading against wrong. You feel me? So I'm not going to take it personal, but you're not going to talk to me like you crazy, like, oh, all of a sudden, you this badass. No, you're not. And I'm not talking about everybody, because there's some people who've been wronged by some of that bad element in the officer point of view.
True.
You know what I mean? And I respect them enough to listen to them. You feel me? Throughout my whole career, 28 years, I respect them enough to listen to them. Right? But it's a balancing act where you're not going to win. You're going to lose every time. You want to know why? Human nature.
Now, who you talking about that's not going to win? Who you speaking towards when you say that?
When you try to please everybody,
you talking about you as a law enforcement.
When you try to please everybody, you're not going to win, bro.
Okay, I get you.
That's all. Jaquari?
Well, in my position, man, I find myself early trying, having to wear two hats. You know, I could either help you or I could handle you. Either way, I'm still doing my job. You know, the fight that I have to fight, with my population every day is the fact that your goal is not just to get out of this program. Your goal is to get out of this program and be as successful as you possibly can in a legal fashion. You know, I've in some cases, you sort of got to trick these young men into doing the right things to get what they want. And in some aspects, it's manipulation. I'll admit that, but I got to go with what works. You know, I mean, I had when I first started, I had the bull in the china shop mentality, and I just thank God that it didn't last that long. You know what I mean? I'm not here to fight these kids. These are kids. I wouldn't dare go into a county jail, ADC, and challenge them. So what I'm going to do?
If you mind me asking, what's their ages?
Well, the facility is I think it's 11 to 17, but my program is 16 to 21.
Okay.
So I'm dealing with young adults, but since they're in the in the this particular program, they're still under juvenile probation. And to sit in a room full of young men who in some cases have done some terrible things and try to find some sort of humanity in them is not the easiest task in the world.
Oh, hell no!
But
for sure.
But the simple fact is, if these guys have an out date, it's my responsibility to try to encourage them to be the best neighbor I could possibly help them become, because they could be my neighbors, man. Legitimately, in the eyes of the law, outside of that building, 18 to 21, they're my peers. We're both seen as African American men, African American man, and Latino men. So that's how I gotta treat them in some cases. Their underlying desire is respect, or at least that's what they say it is. Some people, they just can't get out of that criminogenic mindset. But you see that early. The guys who just don't really have a clue, if you don't latch on to them early, then the negative will start to influence them, and it's not only going to make your job harder, but they're going to lose. They're going to lose. And I would have to be the lowest form of person to see somebody spiraling out of control and have the tools to at least push point them in the right direction and not do it. So that's the approach I take. I'm here. You can come to me, but you got to come right. And if you don't come right, I'm gonna tell you early. Look, I don't really have time for that, son. Think about your plan before you come to me, man. And I'm not saying some of the things that they tell me aren't thought out, but don't tell me what you think I want to hear. I can't live your life. Be realistic about your expectations, man.
True.
Be realistic about your expectations. You're not gonna be a rapper, bro. You're not gonna be a rapper. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to kill a dream or something like that. I tell them you're not going to be a rapper because I don't see you writing down lyrics. I don't see you trying to write down songs. That's the simplest thing. All y'all want to be rappers. All y'all want to be in the NBA, but I don't see you in the gym practicing your crossover.
Mm-hmm. Can you even read music?
Can you even read music? DJ, I stopped wearing a digital clock. I stopped wearing a digital watch. because my boys couldn't tell analog time.
Wow.
So I wear so a lot of days I wear analog watch, and I make them tell me the time. I've done that. You know what I mean? It's everything, like with programs and things like that. There's an expectation that a young man coming into this situation has the intelligence to do the work. Okay, I'm not going to disrespect them by saying that they don't have the intelligence to do the work. My point is, you got to mix the intelligence to do the work with the desire to be different. That's what we have to cultivate in these young men.
Oh yeah,
we have to. And it was who was it? It was a prior guest. Said he was a farmer. Big Will said he was a farmer. Yeah. And I was like, well, yeah, man, I agree with that. We have to cultivate. We have to cultivate our younger generations, and it's in much the same ways that we were cultivated.
Yeah.
Sound like a winner right there.
Before we go on to the next question, let me make sure, because this I need to speak to our audience. The two people are on now, and our future audiences, right? What we do here is Strong Perspectives. No, it don't matter. No, I'm just trying to make light of it because this is a great damn conversation. Yeah. Period. What we do here in Strong Perspectives is this: we take everyday people who do great things in their lives for themselves and for others, and we want them to come on and tell their story. See, that's important to us. Yes, of course, we want to tackle the current news in real time. We want to do all those different things, and we do. But really and truly, we got to lay the foundations of speaking to everyday people, because that's the voice that's not been heard.
Facts.
In my opinion.
That's real right there. That's real right there.
That's the voice that's not been heard. Mm-hmm. Go to our channel, Strong Perspective Podcast, right? Go to our channel, like and share every fucking video, and subscribe to our shit. Like and subscribe to our shit. You know why? Because you will be doing somebody a favor if you get us out there. Because there are people out here who really and truly will get something out of what we and our guests talk about. Because we're talking about our lives, and part of our lives may be mirroring what you are going through, period. Like and subscribe, people. Talk to us, baby. But let me go to this. That's a great question, Damon. Let me go to this. I want to ask this question because this kind of chimes into what we just talked about. If you had the chance and you had the audience of young folks to listen to you, you had their ear, right? What would you want to communicate to them? In your heart, what would you want to communicate to them to help them and help yourself, help us, everyday people? What would you want to communicate? I'll start with you, Damon. You're on mute, baby boy. Damon. Look at it. There's a bunch of old people on here. Excuse us.
Hey, the young people. Hey, young people. If the young people looking, they be talking about. First of all, old ass man, unmute so we can hear what you're saying.
You're muted.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Move out the way, Daddy.
Go ahead,
the
Dan.
one thing I want to communicate, man, is that first of all, if I'm being honest, man, there has to be I have to be open to some things too. You know what I'm saying? And not build my case on hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? Be honest. And what I mean by that is that if a kid comes to me and asks me a question, I got the option to say, "Hey, man, that's personal shit." It all depends on the relationship I have with the kid. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I would say is that, man, look, the one thing, no matter what you're going through or what you're dealing with, the one thing, man, that you have to keep in mind, which is a difficult thing to do, as far as the world that we're living in. But I would say to him, what if you live till you 80 years old, man? You know what I'm saying? What if you live until you 80 years old? Are you still going to continue to do the same shit? Are you still going to have the same complaints? Are you going to learn? Are you going to learn anything in that time span? Because a lot of shit will come your way if you choose to recognize it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta move yourself out of that space you're in, because man, we got young cats, man, that's dealing with a lot of anger and anxiety and shit. You know what I'm saying? And my experience that, I'm an older dude, but I never experienced no shit like this, man, with the social media and all the things that's just coming at them. I never experienced that. But I can make it personal. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. I can make it personal, and I can say, look, man, you got to visualize yourself as living a long life, man. You have to visualize that. And once you see yourself in that position, once you see yourself in that picture, you know what I'm saying? Then it's required. It's incumbent upon you to make adjustments and shit. So what I would say is, dude, man, where you at right now might seem hopeless to you, but what if you survive that shit? What if you live through it? Then what you gonna do? Repeat the same shit? Or you gonna grow?
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying?
Real.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And
right
that's
there.
right, and that's not making it personal. It's just like that's this provoking thought. You know what I'm saying? It's the way I see it.
Wow.
Okay. Well, we're gonna sandwich. Hey, DJ, we're gonna sandwich you in between them and Jaquar.
Oh,
You up next,
okay.
brother.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it like, get educated. Get educated. Quit sitting in school on them cell phones early on. Getting put outside the classroom, sitting in the hallway, missing your education. Going to behavioral services class and all this, and not getting and getting out of school what you're supposed to get out of there. Because, man, when you get our age, well, way before our age, when you get in your 20s and 30s, a lot of times you miss it. You can't read, write, arithmetic, you're not gonna get hired. And I don't care who you are, unless you're born into money. And then bring somebody along with you, cousin, brother, sister, best friend in your neighborhood or your family. Don't just leave them behind with that mentality, I made mine, you get yours. Can't do that, man. So many young black folks, man, are just out there. We talked to Spoke a little while ago, man. They locked up, so many of them, and just don't even care about education. Everybody can't make it to college. I'm an example. I'm one didn't. I went another route. Man, get them books and take that serious. These cell phones and social media, all that's fine. But if you can't negotiate this thing, if you can't take it apart, if you can't make it, if you can't, be the one that's in control of, shipping these for Amazon or for Best Buy or whoever, then, you're really not in charge. You're just a consumer, a user, in its mildest form. And everybody's a user. Get what you can. Bring somebody with you and take it serious. So when you get 40, 50, 60 years old and you want to so-called retire, you got something, a so-called 401k or retirement fund, and you're not working till you're 70 years old or whatever it's going to be, 72 for Social Security, soon to come up. Nobody can work that long.
Used to be 65,
65,
DJ.
62, 65. Now it's been 72. Oh, y'all know better than me. It's probably 72 now. But I say that just think long term and prepare. And don't be afraid to ask somebody. Ask somebody, what do I need to do? Anybody. I mean, folks gonna tell you more things to how to succeed than fail. That's how I feel.
Okay. Jaquari.
I think I would well, a couple things. First of all, I would teach him that, you know, you have a goal, and you know, no matter how much of a pipe dream it sounds like, the lesson is in the journey. The lesson is in the work. You know what I mean? What's the old Chinese proverb? 1,000-mile journey starts with the first step. You got to take the first step. If you're dreaming, you got to wake up. If it's a dream, you got to wake up and put some action behind it. You know, it's like prayer. You know, some Pop used to say all the time. You know, I just put it in the hands of God. I totally agree. I put it in the hands of the Lord, but nowhere in the Bible does it say, you know, you put it in the hands of the Lord and forget it. You know, you always got to work for what you want. You know, we got a spotlight on the greater goal, but the path is, you know, in pitch blackness. We need to start teaching our kids to illuminate the path. You know, that's number one. Number two, I think we need to start having conversations with them about, you know, the differences and the similarities between the generations. I mean, I keep it real with my kids, you know, and I tell them, like, it's for the grace of God that I wasn't, you know, sitting in the chair right next to you. There before the grace of God that I wasn't sitting in the chair right next to you. I am no different than you guys were when I was your age. And I know you find that hard to believe, but it's taken a while for me to cultivate the person that I am today. You're not going to wake up who you are to, you know, you're not going to go to bed who you are tonight and wake up this 100% changed person. You got to put work into it. It's practice. It's just like a free throw. It's muscle memory. You know, once we establish, man, the similarities are you know, heavier, you know, in our favor. It's more similarities than there are differences or whatever. I think, you know, we can start to make some headway with that. Really, I mean, it's hard for me to explain. I had this whole elaborate thing that I wanted to get into, but I mean, that's about it.
Okay. No, that's great, man. Damn. You was getting more elaborate than what you just said?
It sound like you're on point, but you're a little frustrated because it's hard work. It's basically what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
Trying to convince somebody, you know, to buy into it, man. That's the biggest hurdle.
This is the key. And I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna acknowledge the folks that we're looking at right now, that is watching us. This is the key to it is, your job, our job is to share what we know. The people that and really is plant the seeds, man. It's up to the individual to sow their own seeds or to open themselves up for somebody else to sow their seeds. This is how I see it, because all three of you guys and everybody who know me that's watching understand who I am. I'm going to tell you how I feel. And I'm not going to throw it at you like a brick. I'm going to tell you and explain myself. Because that's key. Whether you accept it or not, that is your problem. You feel me? All right. Now, let me acknowledge everybody before I answer this, because this is one of the questions I would like to answer. Keith Barnes is out here, baby boy.
What's up, Keith?
Look, keep this answer, the question. He said he would teach them to learn all the rules so you can break them appropriately. Oh, okay.
That's deep.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Hey,
Can he expound on that a little bit?
and look, my good friend from my pit days, Pamela Spears, one of the most beautiful women I ever met. Energy, personality, I love her dearly. Pam says, what you all have to share is great, real talk. I appreciate your candid conversation and pray that your young people catch what you are saying. You know what I'm saying? And she said, keep planting the seeds. You know what I mean? And look, DJ, he says, what's up? And look, he said, I didn't know Marines were this deep. Because Keith was in the Army, so. I love you, Pam.
Is that a shot?
Yeah. Hey, but look, let me give my
two good men right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me give my 2 cents, then we're gonna move on. This is what I would share. I'm not your enemy. When I talk to you, I'm not your enemy. Because I say something differently on how you're moving, understand that doesn't mean that you're not moving in the correct way. I'm just giving you my opinion of what I see because I feel I owe you that, right? Second thing is, I'm sitting here reading what I wrote down because I'm sitting here tripping off this shit, right? Because this is important. This is very important. So what are you doing? Oh, what you're doing is not any different from what we did. You right now have more information and you have a bigger tool, the internet, to get you in the position that we could not get. Because when we were coming up, we were denied it.
That's fair enough. It's fair enough.
We were denied it. Not when, look, if you wanted a conspiracy theory, I get it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it was information that was not given to us. And three guys, brothers, right now, that I'm
Preach, bro.
Right now.
Preach, bro. Go ahead. Finish your thought. Preach,
bro. Right now. If you got if you got a lot of information that we get when we pick this up, when you was in your 20s, right? Would you be thinking differently?
A lot sooner.
Would you be thinking differently?
A lot sooner.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Right.
It may not have changed the course of your life, but what it would have done is you understood the roads. There are so many different roads to get to one point. That's life, that's love, that's everything. Y'all feel me?
Okay. What I hear you saying is, man, you'd have found that connection. You wouldn't have never felt alone as much as you did when you got it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Because see, here's the thing. I want these young men and women to understand you getting these things in your life. You are blessed to have this information, right? But everything is entertainment heavy. We're caught up on heavy entertainment.
Hey, run that shit you told me, man, years ago, Keith, when you talk about black people in entertainment, man.
Remind me, bro.
We was talking about all that stuff that was going on. It was real. It was heavy, and in it. And I called you because I was in despair. And you said, "Dude, man, it is frustrating. It's frustrating as hell to be the world's entertainment, man. When we trying to be serious and shit." Remember that?
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about as African makers, as black people.
I like the way you put that.
Because that's how you put it to me. You know what I'm saying?
Look, they look at us as the world's entertainment, bro.
If you
Think about this, and this is not putting no shade onto our entertainers and our sports guys and everybody else, but they have bigger advancements
Bigger
because
platform.
they are entertainers. That's not a bad thing, but what it is, oh, wait a minute. Because think about it. I know a lot of black doctors. I know a lot of black lawyers, right? But what is the emphasis put on? And now, look, I ain't speaking about no conspiracy shit, so don't be like, oh, man, Illuminati. Ah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying the fact that what's thrown in your face every day, you're more likely to believe than what's not thrown in your face.
If you look at, man, how the world's perception
DJ.
of this. Go ahead, man.
We can't hear you, DJ.
You on mute. You on mute, man.
Are you on? No, I don't think he's on mute. You must have got unplugged.
There you go.
There you go.
So the sad thing is, we got to do more with less.
It's real. Always. Always.
And check this. You folks want to know where you are at all times and what you doing. Why are you taking a break right now? You know why? Shit. Why you ain't constantly working? Did I tell you can take a break now? Well, dang on. You know what I'm saying? Well, how come we had a black president, man? 2 terms. Let me give y'all that. He didn't get it because they liked him. He got it because he was the best man for the job. They made it seem like they liked him. But nobody else could touch him. Nobody else could speak like that man could. We've never had an orator like that president of the United States. I don't care what nobody say.
I got
in today's life, we walking down the street, and I'm gonna say this as an ex-cop. Cops look at me, walking my dog. Guess what? They look at me like, "Where you going?" They might not say it, but where you going? Why you walking in this neighborhood? Well, I live here. So it goes along with the entertainers. 400-some years, we had to entertain. I'm not gonna get into that, but y'all know where I'm coming from. We had to entertain. Because it make some folks in the element feel good. Why? Because they want to know where you are, where your location was, and why you're not doing what I told you to do. And if not, I'm going to give you a 1% pay raise this year versus a 3% pay raise.
Stop playing.
Is that not hurtful? I'm telling y'all, oops. Let me back off that one. You know what I'm saying? Well, I can handle 5 black men.
Yeah.
But you can't handle 1 because you don't know how to fight. So you pull out your gun or your taser and you handle it that way. Or whatever. Maybe not. Maybe I'm talking too much. I'm just saying.
Look. And this is the thing. And y'all know I'm fair. It's what it is. Right? But here's what's so sad. Is you can go down to our babies and they can recite to you the thing. Now this might be controversial, but this is real. I ask this in my barbershop every day. Your babies can tell you that, they can tell you about slavery, they can tell you about injustice, the whole 9, right? All the way up into an adult. To a man or woman, this thing is being said about our community being under siege, right? But what is lacking? Mutual cooperation. Why don't we trust each other? Why do we get upset when somebody has the courage to take the lead? Some people told me, I was talking to maybe my brothers when we were talking about this. Oh, we're conditioned to be that way. Okay. Is it conditioned or is that the easiest route to take?
Right there. Say that again, Keith. Say that again, Keith.
You know why I think it's the easiest route to take? Because we're human. Human beings want to take the easiest route. So if I say, hey man, I need to hate him because somebody else is afraid of him and they say they hate him, right? then all of a sudden, if you follow the flow with the group, you're gonna hate them and don't even know why you do it.
You know
Hell,
what?
we get it from my white counterparts every day. They hate us and don't know why they hate us.
Or
Somebody told them that they hate us.
Or you recognize something in them that you see in yourself, and that's self hate.
Wow.
But
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
the point,
Wow.
though. But I was taught to find something in me to love, man.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Can't nobody override that. Especially if I find it, you can't override it. And this is me personally. I'm not saying what anybody else should do. When I found a reason to love who I was, man, the kind of human being that I was, that I walked on them streets every day, you can't say nothing about me. You cannot.
But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you all three of y'all a question, man. You know what I'm saying? We every human being on this planet, man, if they hadn't been beaten down, like KRS said, to your very last compound, every human being, man, is driven by ego and shit.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody is. And therein lies the job to do, especially within the black community. How do you get a cat, man, who's so driven because of that weaknesses, so driven to be a man, a so-called man or whatever? How do you get them to pay attention to say, you know what, building manhood is start understanding who you are and your strengths and going from there. Everybody's not going to agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's 8 billion people on this planet. You know what I'm saying? God's biggest miracle is 8 billion people. And we all have similar experiences, but we're really not the same because we internalize it differently. You know what I'm saying? So how do you individualize that shit? I'm asking all three of you guys. How do you individualize that shit and keep people focused on, you know what, I matter and my opinion matters too, without ego being involved in it?
I would hope that, for me, I would think that I'm hoping that somebody tells that young person in the very beginning that you're valuable, you're worth something.
Right.
You do matter, and then maybe that continue that process on. That's why I went back to the school system about, our black children or Hispanic children. I'm gonna throw it out there, sitting outside the classroom because the teachers don't want to deal with them for the shenanigans. And so they're missing education every day of the week, and they wind up in a probation center or detention center. And then once you get a rap sheet, a so-called rap sheet, how hard is it to fight your way out of it? It's so easy to go sling some dope and sell some guns and carjack and all that, which is and it's hard to do the right thing, Damon. It's hard to get up every day and go to class or put a towel on, keep them tattoos off your neck and on your arms and all that.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you finish, DJ. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna let you finish. But let me just say to you, brother, it is not hard. It's just taking the easier route. Period.
But Keith, you have a strong constitution, man. Peer pressure is a motherfucker, man.
Woo.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're speaking from a strong constitution, though, man. A strong background.
I feel you. And look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm agreeing with you guys. I'm just throwing I'm sprinkling that on there because here's the thing. You always have a choice. The first time that I understood that I had a choice with what the fuck I was going to do, it empowered me to be better. Even though I made the wrong choice sometimes, I still knew that I had a choice.
But Keith, what if you don't know how to make the right choice? What if you haven't been taught how to make choices, proper choices?
But DJ, let me just ask this.
Okay.
Great point, right? And this not disagreeing with you, but let me ask this. If you're doing something wrong and you know it's wrong, then you know you got a choice.
Okay.
You feel me? Think about what I'm saying.
Has anybody ever thought about from our generation down to the children, our community has historically been victims of assimilation, right? We want to be accepted by everybody,
We do.
you know,
We
and
do.
we're still fighting for integration in some cases, when there's absolutely no need for absolutely no need for integration. I mean, as much money as we handle, within the poorest of black communities. I mean, it's definitely enough money to sustain that community if properly handled.
Wow.
If
Okay, I
everybody
mean,
going in the right directions, yeah.
we like I said, we're killing ourselves trying to assimilate and be accepted by mainstream society when the standards and the and the lessons of mainstream society are not as clear and as useful as the standards and the message that we have in our own society. It takes a village to raise a child. That didn't come from a European mindset.
You're right. You're right.
We lost it.
Okay.
Getting back to some of those, kind of old school concepts, I think, and making sure those concepts are set in stone, the good ones at least, I think would be very helpful to us. I mean, our generation, we said that when we get big, shit, my kids gonna have everything they want.
That's right.
But as kids, we didn't get half the things that we wanted. But what did that
Fuck
build in
that.
us?
Eight.
What yeah. But what did that build in us?
Yeah.
That built in us, the desire to become more than what we were, so we can start achieving things.
Okay.
Not just material things, but accomplishments.
No doubt.
Doing things to bolster our self-respect and our self-worth. Kids today are victims of groupthink. We're victims of groupthink. And unfortunately, there's not enough people.
Juveniles do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But unfortunately, there's not enough people in our positions, to go out and reach out to these kids and tell them, like, look, hey, I'm comfortable. I have a good life. And I have broken no laws.
But is that the case, though?
All right. Well,
Is that the case?
It's the case because it's the case because that's all I know right now, bro.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I don't know any other way to be.
Let me answer that. Let me answer Damon's question, and also acknowledge who's on. Robert Mitchner is on, DJ.
What's up,
What's
Mitch?
going on, Mitch? How you doing? He was on earlier. What's going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Good dude, man.
Keith Barnes, he had something to say about a lot of elders I experienced would often hold Caucasians as the standard of excellence, and it had influence on me. You see what I'm saying? But that's honest. That's deep as hell and as honest as hell, right?
Yep.
But look, let me just say this. Not that I'm different, because I want to say that I wanted to be a part of the group. I wanted to be with everybody else. But when it started not making sense, and it took me out of my comfort zone, meaning if I felt bad about being with the group, because the group is treating me shitty, guess what? I'm not fucking with the group. I might be lonely, I might be being tugged toward that group, but I'm not fucking with the group. That's always been me.
But you also didn't burn the group down, and that's what we're suffering.
Here's my point.
Today.
You don't have to burn the group down. All you have to do is just say no. You feel me? Now, I'm not saying that these kids, gang situations, drug situations, these kids got the power to say no. What I'm saying is I'm really just commenting on the fact that this is my own personal journey. So basically, when it came down to it, like you can override people override their humanity for their ego.
All the time.
You see what I'm saying? See, that's what I think that we run into. Damn it, if you didn't hear it, I said we in our community override our humanity for our ego.
I can agree with that.
We want to be this person. We want to be, but then, okay, why do you want to be that person? What's going on for you to even want to be that person? Because see, the reason why I think the way that I think, honestly, and y'all know, the reason why I think the way that I think, because I was taught by my parents or conditioned or made to think by my parents that I need everything to go right. I need everybody to be taken care of. That's
okay. You're talking about two separate situations, though.
No, it's not. Think about what I'm saying to you.
I'm listening.
I'm talking about a broad sense. I'm not talking about us as brothers at all. I'm talking about when I look at our community, I want everyone to be serviced in a way that, no, it's not fair. It should be lopsided in some senses, right? But the thing about it is the community will be pushed forward. Think about, we've been in a holding pattern since the fucking 60s. But we all have the same answers. To a man and woman, we have the same answers, guys, don't we? We know.
Pretty much.
We know what we want. We know where we want to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but Damon,
hold on. It's the cooperation that always gets in the way. Go ahead, Damon.
If you have an understanding, man, you know, the one thing, man, that was so crystal clear to me, because I, as an individual, I'm just speaking from an individual point of view. I as an individual person, don't feel anybody's experiences is the same as mine. We don't internalize the shit the same. We might have simple, same experiences, but in terms of internalizing it, it's different. You see what I'm saying? So that therein lies the conflict. I'm saying if I am let me just finish this point. If I'm adamant about my experience, my personal experience, I'm not trying to hear somebody telling me how to think and how to feel and how to and try to lead me in any direction. I'm looking for understanding. Now, if I understand that you understand where I'm coming from, then I'm more apt to listen to what you're saying. You feel what I'm saying? I'm more apt to listen to what you're saying, and then we might come to a compromise. But we have to begin from that understanding before you can tell me anything, man.
What about the social contract, Fubi? What about, no matter wait. No matter whether we all experience the same things and internalize them in different ways, the social contract states that, society has rules. Society has guidelines, and you have to adhere to those rules and guidelines in order to work and be in society.
Who's to say that I have to adhere to that, man? If you're not making a human connection with me, if you are not making a human connection with me based on my personal experience, then there is no contract, man. Right. It's a contradiction.
So why do I? Wait, let me finish, Keith. Let me finish. Why is it that I need to adhere to your to what you got going on, man? When it sort of feels like you're not considering what I got going on.
Because
we're never going to make any headway, man, Okay, because we, I, we're
Uh-huh.
never going to make any headway because there's no baseline there, man. There's no baseline.
But you want me to adhere to your baseline.
Hold on. Remember yesterday when I said to you guys, I forget who it was. I said you're saying the same thing, but you're on different pages.
No, we're not. We're
Because,
not saying the same
yes,
thing,
you
bro.
are. You
No,
are.
thanks.
Because
No,
Damon, you're
no,
talking about
no.
individuality and wanting to be heard. Ja'Quari's talking about how basically you have to get along to move forward. It's the same thing. It's just you are on different pages.
And that's your opinion, man, and I respect
All
that.
right. All right. No, listen to what I'm saying.
But he asked me a question, and I need to address what he's saying.
All right. So finish addressing
We're
what you're
working
saying,
with.
then we're gonna go to the
We're
next.
living. We're living within a system, man, and with all the hypocrisy and all the shortcomings of this system, we're still living within it. There are more advantages to working within a system and changing that system than there are to being the rebel on the outside. Being the rebel on the outside, yeah, they were always the fire starters, but they couldn't cut the mustard up to a certain point.
Okay.
So that's when the people in the system who are conscious of the downfalls of the system need to grab the reins and push our agenda forward.
Okay.
Okay. Now
That's my point.
I'm glad you said that, Ja'Quari, because basically what I just said, you're basically on different parts of the chapter. Because what you just said, what you just explained was the simple fact that you acknowledged what Damon was saying and understanding it, but when it comes down to what? It comes down to understanding how to come together to either overtake the system or manipulate the system, depending on what you want to do.
Is there a difference?
Yes. Because if you manipulate the system, right, basically what you're doing is you're still going along with what's going on, right? But if you overtake it, is you're coming in and you creating your own lane. You as whoever you're with, creating your own lane to go in the same direction as the system, and the system has no choice but to do what?
Okay.
To adhere to you.
And I hear everything you said and everything you just described, bro. Trying to find commonality, Keith, has absolutely nothing to do with what I was thinking, feeling, or talking about.
All right, Damon.
It has absolutely nothing to do with it because you're talking about commonality.
Yes, that's what you're talking about.
What? No, that is the exact opposite of what I'm talking about.
You're talking about put your.
Oh, so tell me what I'm talking about.
All right, you know what?
So tell me what I'm talking about.
No. Go ahead and finish, Damon, because this, like I said, this is how I feel. You know how you feel.
I broke it down to its basic premise, man. I said it's 8 billion people who go through the same experiences, but internalize it differently, man. So how are you going to tell me how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, or who I'm agreeing with, man? How are you going to tell me that?
Did I tell you that? Did I say any of that? What I said was you guys was on this. Y'all were saying the same thing.
No. We are not.
We're not, because my overall
we are not.
is.
I tell you what.
I acknowledge the individual. I acknowledge it.
Ja'Quari, hold on, because basically what you guys are doing, you're challenging what I'm saying, and I gave y'all the opportunity to speak. Give me the opportunity to speak. All right. And basically what I said to you was this. I agree with both of you, and there is a way to work together if you pay attention to it. That's it. I didn't agree with neither one of you guys. I just said that you guys are on the same, y'all on the same route. That is in a different place. That's it.
All right, bro.
That's it. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less, bro.
All right.
Look, what I understand is I value both your opinions. That's what I'm saying to you. This is why I told you how I felt. You understand what I'm saying to you? More than that's all. That's all.
Right.
You know, because here's the thing. Along with distinguished guests like DJ and the three of us, you guys give merit to what we're trying to achieve here. This is no doubt about it.
And I apologize to DJ, man. We ain't heard that much from you, man. I'm gonna take a step back and I want to hear what you got to say, bro.
Oh man, you know I'm learning. So my feeling, man loves to impose his will on other men, and the reason I say that because, man, every man is gonna think he's right in any argument, any interaction. He's gonna feel like, or a woman's gonna feel she's right, and we don't agree to disagree. Then guess what? That person don't see the way I see it. It ain't right. So I look at it like this. I'm gonna take a nugget from what each person is saying. I'm gonna put that thing together. But at the end of the day, guess what? I'm gonna do it my way regardless.
Right.
Because that's the only thing we know. That's the only thing we know. We know from birth that we born in this thing, we gotta fight. We come out fighting. One more little topic that, man, was really burning was, how do we survive this thing?
Right.
Like, how do we make it? How do we function? How do we actually get through this thing to see the so-called end or the so-called we made it spot? That's a deep question. So I look at it like this. I gotta watch people. Now, this is gonna be a little sore spot right here. Somebody mentioned something about white folks. But guess what? If they are our example and we know we gotta do it this way to get that big house on the hill or to get them 2 cars and the white picket fence, this is what I gotta do to so-called make it. I'm gonna be the best person I can. Don't mean I'm Uncle Tom. Don't mean I'm kissing butt. But I've got to exceed past that to get my little bit, or I ain't gonna make it. And I'm gonna be sit back going, man, blaming everybody else. Man, I should have done this like this when I was 25 years old or when I was 30 years old. I should have did it his way. When actually, we ain't all, I don't know how y'all might feel about this. We all ain't gonna make it. The so-called make it. Ain't enough room. Damon, you said 8 billion people in this world
DJ.
Or more?
Right.
Think of how many out of 8 billion people, man, is suffering and living in poverty. They ain't got nothing.
Right.
And then look around and see what the so-called ones have made it have.
It's enough room.
It's scary.
You know what it has a lot to do with is your definition of who made it and who ain't. Me personally, right? I'm not living in a mansion right now, right? But my family don't want for anything.
Okay.
And I'm happy for that.
Hey,
are you happy though?
Hey, Keith, your niece said she love y'all. What's up, Danita?
Hey, going on, baby girl? How you doing? But look.
Hello.
She ain't trying to get on camera. She want to be acknowledged though.
Okay.
She love y'all.
All right. Plug us back in.
Love you too, honey.
There you go. Hey, DJ, look. Let me explain something to you. This is me. I'm not speaking for nobody but me.
Okay.
When I look back on my life, right, where I began, every pitfall, everything that happened to me personally, where I'm right now, of course I want little things, right? This is why I said as far as the ego, everything is ego driven. Because if I compare myself to my friends that I know and had pro careers in NFL and NBA, I'll be a sad ass fucker. Excuse my language. It's
Point
real.
well taken. Point taken.
Because what I understood from the beginning, because of the hardship that me and my brothers had to go through with our parents, is I'm grateful for everything that came across my plate. I've enjoyed every moment. This is just me. I've enjoyed every moment that had me smile.
I stand corrected. Taylor said me and Jacory was talking about the same thing. I mean, me and we were talking about the same thing.
I was trying to tell y'all, man. I was trying to tell you, but yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't agree.
I don't either, but you know that's their opinion. You know what I'm saying?
No. I don't agree. Fuck y'all.
I'm just saying, you know, we want people to, you know, to chime in and say they whatever.
I just told y'all just on different segments of the joint, but y'all going the same direction. But this is what I'm saying to you guys. I love life so much, and I love being a black man. I hate to say it like that, but I love being a black man when I was a little boy. And why did I love that? Because I loved our father. I loved our grandparents. I loved our mother. You understand what I'm saying to you? And what I saw them, and I'm not trying to, you know, throw no motherfucking smoke, blow no smoke up nobody's ass. Right. Bro, my source of happiness was them.
So they were your role models?
I was blessed.
They were your role models, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, you wanted to emulate.
It's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. When we talk about our dad on these episodes, DJ, our dad wasn't perfect. But what he blessed us with, brother, was the truth.
Wow.
And the truth came out of love. Was he perfect? Was he an asshole sometimes? Yes, the hell he was.
That's called being a father.
We had more love come from that man. You know what I'm saying? Because our mother was the constant love. Our dad was the roller coaster love. Because he wanted us to be.
Was he?
What did he want us to be? Jaquari and Damon, what did you?
A motherfucking man, but he was consistent with his shit.
And look, I'm gonna ask the three of you. What do you think our fathers wanted us to be? And you don't have to get too deep. It's just, what do you think? We'll start with you, DJ.
Better than what he was.
Okay.
Better man than what he was. And a provider, be able to provide for minds. Don't go out doing things to put a bad name on the family. And just being the best citizen, the best person you can be. Make your way without begging. Make your way without having to be dependent on somebody else. That's it.
Jaquari.
I think Pop, he wanted me to be the kind of man who set my own standards, set my own code, and was man enough to stand on it. You know, I made millions of positive decisions. I've made thousands of negative decisions. You know what I mean? But I've always been man enough to stand on it. You know, he helped me understand that, you know, you're going to fail. You're going to fail much more than you're going to be successful. But you got to bounce back, baby. You got to bounce back. Because this life don't leave you too many choices.
Yeah.
You know, so when you fall, you got to do the best you can to salvage what you have. So you ain't got to start from scratch.
Okay.
Bounce back. That's my overall point.
Bounce back. Damon.
You talking about the one thing Pop showed me?
Yeah.
The one thing he showed me, man, is that every opinions are like assholes. You know what I'm saying? That was a cliche for him. Man. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody got one.
Right. But there's one thing, man, that he admired about me. Now, this is father and son, 18-year-old motherfucker, to a motherfucker that was in his 30s, late 30s. He was like, dude, man, I know the choices I made and my failures. I'm interested in your shit. What you gonna stand strong on, son? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna stand strong on? And you know, if that's your conviction, we're gonna ride with that shit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna ride with that. Because he felt like he did his job. This man dropped out of school in 11th grade, and he had 3 sons that graduated from college. You feel me? That was his goal. That was his goal. Hey, motherfucker, you ain't just a strong back. You got a mind. Make a decision. It don't matter what I think about your decision. Decide. And stand on that shit. That was our father in a fucking nutshell.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And when he decided that he was through teaching you, he didn't give you no more fucking advice.
No more.
You own your own grasshopper.
He say, I call him. He said, I call him from college, and I said, hey, man, I'm going through this shit and whatever. He honest. He said, man, I ain't been to college. I don't know shit about that, but I gave you everything I know. Well, hey, man, what do you think? I just told you I gave you everything I know, man. As far as I'm concerned, I raised you as a man. Make a decision and stand on the shit. Pass or fail.
No doubt.
Pass or fail. So, when you look at it in that perspective, you understand what I'm saying? When you look at it in that perspective, that don't involve anybody else but you personally. And you have to make a decision. And you have to stand on it. And even if you fail, that's an opportunity to be a better motherfucking human being.
Yeah.
So there's no loss, man. There's no loss there. So you cannot hold yourself accountable to somebody else's motherfucking situation. You can't. Because it's not yours. And that's what makes God unique.
No doubt. All right.
Because one thing does not solve the whole problem. It takes I don't know what Jacory said, it takes a village. Everybody with their opinion and their own experiences to interject their shit in order not to be excluded.
No doubt.
And that's all I gotta say.
Well, you said a mouthful with your head swaying and shit. Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Hold on.
God gave me a big ass head to sway.
Yes, sir. You got a noggin, boy.
Hey, and that draws our attention, bro. Hey, with the white spot up top.
Say all eyes on me.
You goddamn right. So I better have something to say, DJ.
Yeah, right. Look, we got family. We're gonna talk about Taylor. Taylor.
I gotta use the bathroom right quick, man.
But he said my dad was never in my life, and I was, I was with a young mother. My mother was my mother, my father, but I still love him growing up. I don't knock him back. The lessons he made for me made me a better father to my own children. You guys had a great role model. You know what I'm saying? Pam says, look, first of all, she says, Lord knows we need more men like your dad and you guys. I'm hopeful and grateful from hearing you all. You feel what I'm saying? So we look.
You're reaching, bro.
We love you. Pam, you know I love you. Look, time traveler nomad, right? He says, I don't know who that is, but peace to you all, and y'all pop. So he know he's friends with our dad. I always had great interaction with him as a kid and a young man. Love you, Big Hill. So you know that's one of your people's folks.
Yeah, that's one of my dudes.
Okay. Cool. Listen, we love y'all.
My friends list.
So when Damon come back, this is a question we all four of us been like itching to really get into. I'm gonna let you three guys get up on it. But this is a great question for our audience, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna give y'all at least 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes to really respond to this question, all right?
Can you repeat the question? I missed it, man.
I haven't said it yet, bro.
Oh, okay.
So basically what it is the one we've been discussing since yesterday, Damon.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's a 2-part question. The first part of it is, what do you think is going on in our community? We kind of answered it through the whole episode, but I still want y'all to kind of hammer it down a little bit, right? You know, what's going on in our community? What is your view of it, right? And then the second part of it is, speak on what you think the double standard is when it comes to our community. I think the three of you can hit this in the head.
Especially that last part.
What we're going to do, we're going to start with you, DJ.
Man, what is community? What is it? You know, I think it's so separated as a whole. We're so spread apart, and the communities that are predominantly black, do they have the resources, the water, the electricity, the social net, the cell towers, law enforcement, firefighters, and then what are we bringing out of it to give to the world? You know, or is it just some buildings with folks there going to work like little ants every day, going to fulfill their duties and then coming back home? What is our community? What is it supposed to be? What should it look like? And is it looking like that? And I know from a city standpoint, like a large population, people are jammed into one place, envious of each other, hating themselves, you know, not allowing each other to prosper and grow. We've beaten ourselves to death, but yet we yelling and screaming the loudest and the highest about what we don't have. So then when we leave, this is the part, fellas, when we leave that community and we go out and live in the so-called area where we made it, amongst those that have a different hue than us and look different than us, and it's cool, then are we allowed to congregate? Or are we just like there's one black family on that street.
They don't want
there's
you
two
there.
There's two black families way over there. You know what I'm saying? And then we're not together. Because from my experience in my community, there aren't many African Americans. But every chance I get, I'll stop one and say, hey man, how you doing today? What's going on? I want you to stop. I want to interact with you, or just keep driving the hell by. That's your choice. I feel like I could do more, and I haven't done enough. You know, I've done what I could, but I could do more. And I should have done more, and I will.
No doubt.
That's it.
Okay. Damon, talk to us, baby boy.
For me, man, when you're dealing with yourself, I'm only speaking for myself, in my experience, man. When you're dealing with yourself, man, you come to certain conclusions, man. You know what I'm saying? And you have to make a choice. Do I follow my own lead and be who I was put on this earth to be, or do I conform? You know what I'm saying? Do I conform? For me, conformity is not the answer. You know what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of motherfuckers on this planet I do not fucking agree with, man. You see what I'm saying? To the point where it gives me angst and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, what makes me keep my humanity, stay focused, and be an example is to trust in myself and my journey. That's what it is for me. You know what I'm saying? And I can handle me being wrong and making adjustments than following another motherfucker and being lost in that shit. You see what I'm saying? So, just to give a small example, they say, well, hey man, who you vote for? I said, none of your business. What is their rebuttal to that? You the reason why this and that. Motherfucker, I didn't give you anything. But you standing on what you're standing on, you chose to judge me, and that speaks to your character, because how the hell you do that? You know what I'm saying? Where's your conviction at? If you can't respect my privacy, where's your conviction?
Wow.
That is the craziest shit in the world to me.
That's crazy.
That's the craziest shit. So I have to trust in my experience and my loved ones who actually give a damn about me and will give me the right advice to not follow that lead, but pick and choose from, to cherry pick. Because they trust my judgment. That's what a real black man is. That's what a real black woman is. That's what we've always done. We've always been that. But for some reason we choose to be distracted by somebody who do not have our best interests in hand. And that's how I feel about that.
Okay, Jaquar?
Okay, ask me the first question one more time, man, because I want to get it right.
What do you think?
Yeah, because I might have been all over the place.
No, you was on point. What is going on in our, what do you think is going on in our community? And then the second one is there, you know the second one is the double standard. But we blended the two.
Yeah. Well, first, I just want to get a shout out to my brother, time traveling nomad. Hey, Fluky, that's Damon.
That's Damon. What's up? What's up, cuz?
Yeah.
You ain't incognito and shit.
Okay.
He on incognito. We reckon. Hey, DJ, that's another military man.
Okay.
No, not our cousin Damon.
Who? Oh, okay.
You remember my roommate Damon?
Shit.
Yeah.
What's up, young man?
Yeah.
Okay.
First two roommates was my best friends, man. Damon and Paul, man.
Okay.
He's
looking at us. He's looking at us from YouTube too, man. So that's some beautiful.
What's up, young man?
That's nice.
Yeah, that's been about 20 plus years, man.
Wow.
It had to be, yeah. Since y'all seen each other, yeah. We used to call ourselves the big timers.
Big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit of popcorn, corn. Yeah, go ahead.
Little bit. Okay. But as far as the community goes, man, I appreciate the individuality, man. I've never said that, we need to lose that in any form or fashion. But we're in a position where we've got to conduct business outside of our community because, historically we refuse to replenish our resources in our community. To some,
absolutely,
at some degrees, to the point where there are no resources in our community. Now, common sense would tell you that if you don't have any resources in your community, and you're conscious of the fact that you're taking your dollars outside and spending billions with other people, while those same people refuse to go on your side of town, that therein lies the problem. I mean, it's economics, man. It's spirituality. It's us getting back to being concerned with us. On a personal level, which sort of brings me to the second question about double standard. And this might be controversial. So I'm gonna tell you, if your feet hurting, it's because I stepped on your toes.
You got my attention. You got my attention.
Do black people in America live by a double standard? And what I mean by that question is, when something happens in our community, we have an expectation for other subcultures to stand with us. We have an expectation for them to kind of go to bat for us. But I don't know if we do that same thing for them. And it's not because we don't care. It's because other communities, man, have unfortunately used this as a chess piece and kind of capitalized on our voices when it was convenient to them. So that's kind of put us in a it's kind of put us in a space where we don't trust anybody outside. We don't trust ourselves first and foremost, because we're not a very trusted people at all. But we definitely don't trust other communities. We don't trust the Hispanic community. We don't trust the LGBTQ plus community. We don't trust anybody that we've marched with over the last 60 years. There was some legitimate situation where they didn't back us. You can march with us, but in the grand scheme of things, after the march is over, you're going home. We got to go back and live in that same situation we just marched over. So at some point, the support that we get, I see it as kind of like being pandered to. It's just like politicians. Politicians, be they Republican or Democrat, pander to us in different ways than they do to other communities. They do. They come to our churches. They might, if it's a local politician, he might stop past a local picnic, because black people gonna be there having a good time, drinking a little bit. You're gonna be able to say some pretty words, and once it's over, we hooked. So I think we that's about it in a nutshell.
I'm afraid my biggest fear is that tonight, tomorrow, next week, next year, that I'm gonna be gone from this earth, and I'm afraid that have our people, have our communities made it? Are they succeeding? Or is it going to just be the same old thing that it's been? That's my biggest fear. Point you just made, man, was so true, so intense. Why are we distrusting of folks? Because when you last, you last at the table. You know what I'm saying? But yet they want you to bring the forks and spoons. You know what I'm saying, to eat. But then you can't sit down until everybody else been seated.
DJ.
Hell, you can't. What you gonna do?
No, there's a reason why you invited to the fucking picnic. But we do not understand our value when we are personally invited to the picnic.
I agree wholeheartedly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, here's my thing. I don't concentrate on black and white because I understand what black and white is, right? But I don't concentrate on it because all I concentrate on is on black. Meaning, I need to get along. I need us to get along to give us a foundation. You feel me? That's it. More or less.
I'm with you on that.
That's what it is. No more than that. But look, we extended this shit because, look, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know about y'all three, but this has been some great conversation. But we're gonna stick to the script. Damon, you usually get your 5 minutes of what you need to talk about. Is it anything you need to talk about? Is it speak on it strong tonight? What's going on?
Here's the thing with me, man. Whenever I get into a situation where I'm doing a lot of deep thinking, I find myself thinking too much. When in reality, man, it's really, you know what I'm saying? You know that first voice you hear in your head, they say that's the right voice you're supposed to listen to. I got out of practice of doing that. And here's the thing. I understand that with my own idiosyncrasies and things that I struggle with, I have to stay humble within myself before I engage somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm humble within myself, I can look at somebody else that's bringing some bullshit and saying, you're not really being honest, dog. You're not really being honest with yourself without attacking them. Because I understand that if you impassioned and emotional, that's how you're gonna come off. And you're not really making your point. You're just making an impassionate speech. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, like I was speaking to you guys last night, Keith, DJs, Troy, when I was speaking to you guys last night, I was like, man, the one thing that gave me humility, man, was me to actually go through the motion of trying to understand that of the job that you guys did and retired from, and Jacory, you in the midst of. You understand what I'm saying? I actually had to do the work to have some understanding, to have some compassion, simply because I understood what my weaknesses are and what I need to work on to be able to understand somebody else's life. You can't dismiss that. You can't dismiss somebody's life, man, or their experiences, even if it don't coincide with your own. You understand? I don't know what it means or how it feels to be white. I don't. But I do understand how to get myself and my white self in a position to educate our kids and take out loans and mortgages and all that shit. I had that in common with a middle class, which is predominantly white. You see what I'm saying? So what is my role? So what is, in order to be that person for my kids, do I jump on the side just on some passionate shit? Or do I be responsible and say, I cannot burn a bridge here to keep me from getting a loan there to help my child in this situation? You know what I'm saying? I can't. I have to find that gray area, that middle ground, and hold that stance without offending anybody else on a fucking emotional level. But if you want to talk to me as a black man who's raising 3 kids, who's trying to educate them in a house that has their own room in the motherfucker, that's a whole other level. And that's not emotional. That's responsible. You understand what I'm saying? That's responsible. Now we can kick it with that and not cross the color line all day. And we can vote on that same shit. You know what I'm saying? But don't come to me wearing a fucking MAGA shirt talking about with some fucking idiot who's just playing with motherfuckers' lives. You know what I'm saying? Who just playing with motherfuckers' lives because he got a fucked up ass constitution. Because he got daddy issues. And I'm supposed to listen to this motherfucker? No, I have to find that right balance. I have to. And that's what keeps my legacy going. That's what makes my kids come to me and say, Dad, you know what you said was right, man. And I had to put that shit, I had to lay that down. Even though that's what my heart was, because I was passionate about it and all that shit, because of motherfucker attacking me. No, man. I have to build a foundation. And I have to grow from that. And I have to be an example of the next person. You know what I'm saying? And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how that shit does not involve color. It involves hustling within the motherfucking program. Like my dad told me growing up when I was out there in the streets hustling. He said, son, that's easy. Because that's the route that they led you to that. The establishment led you to that. How you gonna survive? What you gonna do, man, to make sure that your offsprings be what I laid out for y'all? That's man shit.
Sure.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, look, this is our longest joint right here, 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Damn, we almost 2 hours, bro. That's crazy.
I'm good with that. But let me just say this, just to bring it up, to piggyback on Damon shit. Understand that when it comes to wealth, when it comes to money management, when it comes to everything else, is not what you've been told. It is not, and this is no disparagement against anyone of a different race. It is not white exclusive. That's the first damn thing I learned in my life when it comes to making money, when it comes to becoming successful. It is not exclusive to white folks. But guess what we believe? Not because it's them that they trying to promote it, it's because it's a system. Because if you have white people making movies, what are they gonna make movies about? To keep it simple, they're gonna make movies about their perspective. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
When it comes to the fact that we hear infomercials all the time, right? About, well, you can make this money, you can get this grant, you can do this, right? They're not just talking to white people, they talking to everyone. But when you start to believe that, when you start to believe it, because it is pumped into our situation, because it's us and them, right? Damon made a great point. And basically what he's saying is, it's everyone. It's not just one area, it's everyone. And we just gotta believe in it. It's all. But look, I want to cuss y'all out in a good way. Because you MFers put your damn foot in this shit.
For real. It's deep.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is a great conversation. I'm just joking.
If people didn't enjoy this, I don't know what kind of movie you want to see.
Conversation, guys. You know what I mean? Because we opened up. You know what I mean? And basically, all four of us expressed ourselves. Period. Great damn job. Jaquar, you see what Damon's talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so
good to hear from you, man. For real. Good to hear from you, brother.
Hey, Fluke, you put that shit down. You keep it up. Keep doing who you are, man. Because we need it.
Man, I can't hear nothing you saying. My bad, bro. I can't hear nothing, man.
Well, you ain't got to communicate it, man. All right, well, look. Thank you, DJ.
It was a pleasure.
We enjoyed you, brother.
It was a pleasure.
Welcome, man. Definitely.
I enjoyed it, man.
Definitely.
And I hope that maybe one day y'all bring me back for the All-Star team.
It's
for
no
the
doubt.
All-Star team.
It's no doubt. It's no doubt. Hey, Damon, you can't hear us? Damon, can you hear us? Okay.
I think he gone.
All right, well, look. This is Strong Perspective. Hey, DJ, you got any last words?
Man, just thank you. And I learned, and I'm going to be the best man I can be. And I'm going to keep getting along, keep doing what I got to do. That's it.
Okay. Jaquar, any last words?
Hey, man, like, share, subscribe us. Even if you don't watch us, let us play in the background. You're going to hear something that you love. Trust me.
Like, share, and subscribe,
you, DJ.
baby.
I appreciate you, man. I look forward to having you.
All right, man.
And Damon Armstrong dropped the mic. Even though he can't hear us, he dropped the fucking mic.
Hey, all I heard was appreciate DJ. I appreciate you, bro. That's all I heard, man.
Look, first of all, you've been doing this for so long. Some of this shit you can keep to yourself. You did a great job, man.
I can be frustrated, bro.
Yeah. Let him live, man. Let the black man live. Let him do his thing.
Luke, you like, hey, man, let's hurry up. I got to take a shit, man.
Wow.
Wow. I ain't saying no shit like that. Not even close, bro.
No, but
damn, I couldn't hear y'all, man.
No, you got any last words, Luke? You got any last words?
I mean, you know, I really appreciate this brother, man. DJ, man, you know what?
Thank you.
I thank you for your service, man. You know, you are, damn, bro. I don't think you really understand, you know, just from a personal point of view, man. You grounded. With all the shit you've been through. You a grounded brother, and you have perspective, man. And you know, based on what you've been through, that's kind of unheard of, bro.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you. I appreciate where you at, man, in your life, man. And you an example. You know what I'm saying? And continue to be that, man. Because I can't even imagine, man.
No doubt.
All
no
good,
doubt.
man. Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank
well,
y'all
look,
for having me.
hey, stay on, guys. When we go off live, we're gonna do our little 5-minute joint. But look, let me acknowledge everybody. Pam, love you. Thank you for listening to him. That's hell to pit, baby. This is one of the best women that you ever want to meet, man. Good sister, real good sister. Cuz, thank you for watching. And Damon,
What's
I don't
up,
think I
Damon?
ever met
Hey,
you. I never met you, brother, but Jaquari speaks highly of you, bro.
hey,
So
good to hear from you,
always
Damon.
have. All right. Well, thank you again, Strong Perspective. Go to our YouTube channel, man. Hey, like and subscribe, man. Blow us up. Let's get us to 1,000 so everybody can hear us. All right. Hey, good night. We'll see y'all next week.